Thank you, Jess. Good morning, everyone, and happy Derby 150 week. It is here, and the city of Louisville is ready to welcome the world. We are so excited with all of the great momentum that we have from the wonderful Kentucky Derby Festival events that have been going on. Churchill Downs is bigger and better and brighter than ever. They got off to a great start on Saturday night with opening night in a new fashion. And today, the track reopens for what's going to be a historic Derby 150 week. So thank you all so much for joining us. And today, our weekly press conference is going to be focused on what we, throughout the city of Louisville, all of our partners throughout Metro government, at Churchill Downs, other partners across the country are working on to make Derby 150 the best it's ever been. And so we're going to focus today on Derby week traffic and security preparation so the entire community and visitors from around the country and world can know what we are doing in preparation for Derby 150. We've got a lot of great folks with us today, including representatives from Churchill Downs and so many other first responders who are here with us at our Emergency Operations Center. This Emergency Operations Center will be open on Saturday in support of the Kentucky Derby, and it will also be open in the days leading up to the Derby to handle these other wonderful community events that we have, like the Steamboat Race, and of course, Thurby and the Kentucky Oaks, which are also going to be amazing events out at the historic Churchill Downs. Our city shines so bright, particularly during Kentucky Derby Festival and Kentucky Derby season. And we've had a fantastic lead up in the past few weeks, leading up to the greatest 2 minutes in sports. We had a phenomenally successful Thunder over Louisville with massive crowds here in downtown Louisville on both sides of the river. Families enjoying the great outdoors, enjoying the air show, the drone show, the fireworks show, and so much more. We had a fantastic mini marathon and full marathon last weekend. Myself, I was fortunately able to just finish it, and there were so many others of my colleagues at Louisville Metro government who participated in that. So many members of LMPD, the chief of our fire department, and others who also took part in that. And then the Pegasus Parade on Sunday, on its not-so-new day, Sunday anymore afternoon. Largest crowds I've ever seen that were out there enjoying another wonderful event. So many people lining the entire route, and that were cheering on all of the participants. And now this week, Derby week itself, we are ready to welcome the world, to experience everything that Louisville has to offer. Our amazing Southern hospitality, amazing dining scene, great people, great parks, great events, great hotels, great bourbon, and of course, the best horse racing. This bucket list week for so many would not be possible without months of planning by so many of our Metro government agencies. It also would not be possible without so many Louisvillians from across our entire city who are volunteering and working to welcome people from around the country and world and make these amazing community events possible. I want to start with our first responders, like LMPD, emergency services, our fire department, and others. Our solid waste management workers who have been working so hard to ensure our city is so clean and clean up after the events like Thunder and like the Pegasus Parade to keep it clean during this amazing time when we have really, when you think about it, what other city in the world not only has an event like the Kentucky Derby every year, a true Super Bowl-like event, if not even larger with the number of people, but they do that 3 days in a row. And if you think that's hard, our community, we start with Thunder over Louisville, where we welcome hundreds of thousands of people, and we don't rest for the 2 weeks in between. Nearly every day, we have another amazing event, oftentimes with tens of thousands of people participating. I can't think of any other place in the world that does this year after year after year, and it's because of these hardworking volunteers, the hardworking folks at Metro government that help make it possible. We also have so many workers in the hospitality industry that are welcoming people from around the country and world. Thank you so much for that. And of course, the hardworking folks at Churchill Downs who work year-round so that this week and the Kentucky Derby is so special every year. So thank you to all of these folks, and I want to encourage everyone who is in our city this week. When you see someone who is helping to make your experience a more positive experience, when you see one of our first responders, when you see someone who works at Churchill Downs, when you're talking to hospitality workers, or you're seeing someone who's helped cleaning up to make sure our streets are safe and clean, say thank you. Say thank you often, because your experience is more positive because of their effort. They are our neighbors, and we are so fortunate that so many people throughout Louisville put in such hard work and so much time so that our city shines when we welcome the world every year. So now let's get to the details of why we're here this morning. Today, you'll hear a little bit about the importance of planning ahead, knowing what to bring and what not to bring when you go out to Churchill Downs. LMPD will talk about some of our public safety plans that we've been working on for months, traffic plans, road closures, rideshare locations, and parking locations, and how you can stay up to date with emergency notifications. We'll then, at the end, we'll open it up for questions to the media for any questions that you all might have for any of us who are speaking. So first, I'm going to turn it over to Josh Ball. Josh is the Senior Director for Security at Churchill Downs. He has not slept in 7.5 weeks and will not sleep for about another 6 days. He is working tirelessly with the entire team at Churchill Downs to make sure everyone has a safe experience for the amazing 150th Kentucky Derby. Josh, thanks so much for you and your entire team, what you do, and thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, as Mr. Mayor said, sleeping is very difficult this time of year, but that is with everyone at Churchill, and I want to make sure everyone gets credit for the amount of work that has gone into that, but that also extends to the public safety partners that we work with. The 2 weeks of events that hit this city are really a lot, and we know that. We know it's exhausting, but it really is our time to shine in Louisville. So thank you again, Mr. Mayor, and everyone in our partnerships. So first thing, let's talk parking. It's always a topic of discussion everyone wants to know. All on-site parking is already pre-sold. If you have not secured that parking permit, there are none available to get. But if you do have a permit, we have maps on the back of the permits. We'll show you which route you should take. And that is very important. Your normal route to Churchill Downs, going up Central Avenue and coming into Kentucky Derby Drive, will not be available. We have dedicated what that route is for each lot. Each lot is unique. It has a different route for a pink lot versus blue lot. So please pay attention to that, because that's what's easiest for you, and it gets you in a timely manner. If you come the wrong route, you're going to have to turn around, go back out, fight traffic. So please pay attention to those route maps that are on the back of the permits. There's more info on that on KentuckyDerby.com as well. Front side, anyone who has front side tickets can use the free shuttle from the Kentucky Expo Center. This is the easiest and preferred route. You can park at the Kentucky Expo Center. You go through, board the shuttle bus. It'll bring you down Central Avenue. You'll drop in our black lot right next to the main Woodford Reserve Paddock Plaza gate. When you come in there, you're free to then mingle in the plaza. It takes you into the brand new state-of-the-art paddock and onto your seats. Again, that's free, and that is running all week for all of our guests. There's also the neighborhoods, for those who do love to park in the neighborhoods around, but please pay attention to the fencing and the signs so that your route that you walk is convenient and you're not going back the wrong direction once you try to access that. The Central Avenue corridor is protected for the shuttle route, so just keep that in mind. If you have infield tickets, general admission tickets for Oaks and Derby, the best place to park is at L&N Federal Credit Stadium that the University of Louisville Athletics is providing for parking. Now, this is a charge lot from U of L. Cars are $40, RVs will be $150, and bus passes are $200. It's cash or card and pay day of. There's no in-advance parking. Again, that's for infield tickets for Oaks and Derby at the stadium. That's the purple lots A through C. Rideshare is also at the stadium. It will be on the north side of Central in the bronze lot for all rideshare. Hotels, taxis, Lyft, Uber, everything will happen in the bronze lot at the L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium. From parking transitioning to overall security, the Department of Homeland Security has, through their SEER rating, rated the Thurby, Oaks, and Derby festivities as a SEER 2. So that just means that we have a federal coordination team and bringing in additional federal resources to support all the state and local officials that are helping us. So there will be hundreds of resources from the federal government, the state level, and local law enforcement, but also our emergency management, fire, EMS, and other services that really it takes thousands of people to make this happen, to provide this safe and secure environment. And I just want to say thank you to all that team. We've been working on this really since before Derby 149, and then we kickstart that really hard as soon as the Derby's over. This is a year-long planning cycle with a lot of dedicated hours and time, and sometimes blood, sweat, and tears. So I think, again, thank you for everyone it takes to do that. Prohibited items. The best place to find the active list for the prohibited items is KentuckyDerby.com. There is a different one for the infield versus the front side, just to be aware. Infield, you can bring those bag chairs without canopies since it is standing room only. The chairs will not be allowed on the front side. So make sure you look for where your tickets are at. We know the weather. We always hope for 75 and sunny on Oaks and Derby Day, but in looking at the forecast with the chance of rain, just a reminder, there are no umbrellas allowed. So make sure you pack ponchos if you deem necessary. We are a drone-free zone. There is a temporary flight restriction, or TFR, for drones for Thurby, Oaks, and Derby. I highly encourage everyone to follow that because the federal government is the one tracking, and there are federal penalties for any violations of that TFR. Know before you go information. If you follow Kentucky Derby on social media, we'll be pushing out information over the next few days for Know Before You Go. Just different things about where your seats are, planning. With the weather, we know it's going to be warm on some of these days. Hydrate. Everyone can bring 2 unopened and sealed bottles of water. We really encourage people to hydrate throughout the day. We want everyone to have a great time, but please make sure you're drinking water. The other thing you can do to download the Churchill Downs app. The Churchill Downs app is where everyone's tickets are stored anyways, but we're able to push out notifications through the app to communicate in a timely manner for anything that may come up if we're trying to redirect lines for crowds and other information that could be critical. That's all I have at this time. I'll turn it over now to Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome. Good morning. Thank you all for helping us keep the public informed regarding safety and security for our Derby events. Derby is always an extremely exciting time for our city, and for this year, the 150th Kentucky Derby is truly a milestone. Our celebration events have been successful thus far, and we expect a successful Derby as well. Our partnerships are what make us strong. The community, you help LMPD continue to be strong. From the assistance we get from you will help us as an agency continue to build upon our robust security plans. LMPD remains committed to helping our residents and visitors as having a safe event as possible. We leverage all manpower and resources at our disposal to help us with that goal. You matter, and so we need for you to really help us keep everyone safe. If you see something, I need for everyone to say something. That is truly important. Today, I have members of the LMPD command staff with me to provide details with you about how our officers organize to help keep the public safe. Our special events unit commander is here and others, but now I'll turn it over to Deputy Chief Healey to give some special announcements as it relates to our community, places of business, and how we are to continue to conduct ourselves so everybody can enjoy Derby 150. Deputy Chief Healey.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. Derby 150, it's going to be a showcase for our city. However, our priority is the safety of the citizens in this city. There are no planned closures of any metro parks, and they will be operating on their normal business hours. With public safety in mind, we will also have traffic diversion plans in place in case traffic becomes so congested we cannot get emergency vehicles to certain areas of the city. If you see a no parking zone, don't park there. We are going to enforce the no parking zone areas. Individuals will park in these areas, and that causes traffic to congest and slow down, which makes us have to go in to traffic diversion. So if you see that no parking and there's nobody parked there, there's a reason. Don't park there. There will be no street racing, drifting, or the taking over of intersections. Our street racing ordinance will be strictly enforced. We will have plenty of tow vehicles in place to assist in the enforcing of the street racing ordinance. If you choose to draw attention to yourself by either through illegal means or you are hindering the safety of others to safely enjoy Derby 150, LMPD will respond with the appropriate amount of attention that your actions have dictated. Please utilize designated drivers or other rideshare programs if your festivities involve the consumption of alcohol. Please check ahead early for businesses in your area if their hours may change. I know the Kroger's, everyone always asks about their hours. I spoke to Kroger yesterday. The Kroger at 28 and Broadway and 3rd and Central will be operating on the hours of 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. If you need to make alternate plans, they assured me that no other Krogers will be operating on altered hours. So 35th and Portland will be operating on normal business hours. Also 3rd and Evelyn will be operating on normal business hours. So if at 4 or 5 o'clock, you're like, hey, I got to run to the store, you might want to make alternate plans if 28 and Broadway or 3rd and Central is your normal location. I want to thank everyone in advance for being ambassadors to our city and have an enjoyable but safe Derby 150. Thank you all.
Good morning. I'm Major Jill Bates with the Special Operations Division. Happy Derby Week. LMPD plans for these events for months to ensure that we are providing the safest atmosphere we can for our residents and visitors during this exciting time. I would first like to thank LMPD's special events staff for the hard work they've done on this huge undertaking. They have been meticulously planning the security and traffic details for each of the KDF events, as well as Thurby Oaks Derby and the Derby City Crime Prevention Detail. We are grateful for our local, state, and federal partnerships that work cohesively each year for safe and successful Derby events. They include Churchill Downs, the Kentucky Derby Festival, all of our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners, as well as the Kentucky National Guard, Kentucky State Police, Louisville Department of Corrections, Louisville Emergency Management, MetroSafe, and Louisville Fire and Rescue. LMPD is asking for the public to be vigilant and to be our eyes and ears. If you see something, say something. There are several ways you can report any type of suspicious activity. You can alert an officer. We'll have a strong visual presence around the track. You can call emergency 911 or 502-574-LMPD, or you can call anonymously. Follow the information here. We ask that you please be patient. Be patient with our officers and be patient with each other. We're expecting large crowds and we want to showcase our city and have a great weekend. We are asking our media partners to continue to help us provide information to the public on our traffic plans and any other updates we need distributed. At this time, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Craig Browning with the traffic commander to discuss the details of the road closures and traffic planning.
Morning. Here we are once again. Everybody wants to talk about traffic. I've got some information for you, and we'll be able to answer any questions you may have later on. Starting with TARC. I've already had questions about TARC this week. The TARC routes are in flux currently. The website to find them and how to get you into the area of the event is KentuckyDerbyParking.com. Anybody that's curious about the TARC routes in and around the Churchill Downs area or the event area in the neighborhood there can go to that website and get the information on their bus routes. As previously stated, Central Avenue will be a hard perimeter used for shuttles only once we get into our Derby 150 festivities. For the folks utilizing those shuttles, you'll park over at the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center in the area of where the old Redbird Stadium used to be. I believe it's Lot E, Lot J. Those shuttles will begin running got my notes here. Lots will open at 9:30 in the morning. Shuttles will start running at 9:30. They will run till 8:30. That is on Thurby. For Oaks and Derby, the lots will open at 8. And the shuttles will run 24 hours until 8 a.m. Sunday. As previously stated, if you are a guest with an infield general admission ticket, you need to plan to pay and park at the L&N Federal Credit Union football stadium, walk to the track, or park in the neighborhoods. Speaking of the neighborhoods, we get questions every year, routes in and routes out. For those that live in the Taylor Boulevard area, as Major Bates mentioned, be safe, but be patient. All right, there's going to be a whole lot of people converging on one place for a historic event, both on the inbound and the outbound. It's going to take a while to get everybody in and get them out. For those that use ride shares, that's another question I'm getting, as well as taxis. For Thurby, Oaks, and Derby, this is the same, all right? They'll be at the football stadium, formerly Cardinal Stadium. They'll be parking in the bronze lot. That is about a 10-minute, 3.5 block walk to get to the event venue. Ride shares, we should be communicating with all the drivers. They will have this information. They will know where to take you. For anybody that does make it onto Central Avenue from Crittenden Drive, you will be checked for credentialing between Crittenden and Floyd. You will not make it past Floyd Street if you do not have the proper credentials or passes. This includes taxis, ride shares. Josh, I believe the vendors and deliveries all have their instructions on where they're to go.
The timing of it, yes.
Okay. One other thing I want to put out for the folks that live in the area, this affects you, obviously, happens every year. We've got interstate closures that are going to take place starting Thursday, all right? Following ramps are going to be closed starting at 5:30 p.m. 264 West exit ramp to 3rd and Southern Parkway. 264 East exit ramp at Southern Parkway. 264 West exit ramp at Taylor Boulevard. 264 East exit ramp at Taylor Boulevard. The exit from 65 southbound to Crittenden Drive will also be closed from 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. on Thursday, from 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. on Friday, Oaks Day, and from 8 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. on Saturday for the running of the 150th Kentucky Derby. These ramps are scheduled to reopen for Thursday around 8:30 p.m. along 264, around 9:30 to 10:30 on Oaks and Derby Day. For the people that live in the area, for the residents in the area, best route to get back to your home should you be out during this event is continue down to take the Shively exit and work your way back to your neighborhood from the west side of the venue. If you are used to getting off of the interstate at Crittenden or 3rd and Southern, you're going to have some challenges trying to get back home. Again, we ask for patience. We're expecting a very big, very lively crowd at this event. We will have uniformed officers and traffic guards in the intersections, helping to assist with traffic flow and directing traffic. If you see something, say something, be sure to alert one of them, but also, they're not opposed to you striking up a conversation with them. If you need something, ask us. That's what we're here for. We want everybody to have a safe and enjoyable Derby 150. And up next, we have Chief O'Neill from the Louisville Fire Department. Chief?
So good morning. If everything has gone well and everything continues to go well, you will not even know all the work that the fire department has put in. Many thanks to Josh Ball and his team. Churchill Downs is a great corporate partner. But our mission out there is threefold. First of all is fire prevention. So when you think about the size of crowds and the occupancy in a large area like that, that's what we are concerned with. How quickly can we get people safely out of an area in the case of an emergency? So our fire prevention has been out there working closely with Churchill Downs to make sure that the area is safe, and we'll have members throughout the day, all day, Thurby, Oaks, and Derby. When it comes to fire suppression, if you imagine something taller than the tallest skyscraper that we have in downtown Louisville, laid on its side, that's Churchill Downs. So that is what we're there to protect. And when you're talking about crowds of about 150,000 people that are trying to exit an area, we would never be able to get resources in there. So everything has to be in place. All of our fire apparatus, our hoses, our equipment, our appliances, and everything are there. So if you're at the track, you may see several firefighters there. That's precisely what they're there for, is to be in place in the case of an emergency, but also to watch for additional hazards. And again, like you've heard before, if you see something, say something. Talk to your firefighters that are out there. We'll have 62 personnel all around the area, to include a full-time crew on the backside starting Thursday morning at 08, and they will be there until Sunday morning to make sure that we have fire protection for the stables and for the backside. And the other thing that we do is we support the medical mission as well. Obviously, Louisville EMS takes the lead on that, but every one of your city firefighters is an emergency medical technician. So if you are at the track and you need somebody, absolutely reach out to your firefighters. They will help you, assist you, and they will get you in touch with EMS if need be. The other thing we need to think about is everybody that is not at the track. Every fire station will still be fully staffed as normal, so there will be really no change except for, of course, the traffic patterns that we've already heard about. But if you're having one of these parties, please be safe. We will make house calls. We'd love to be invited to your party, but not on an emergency type of basis. But so please just be cautious, especially when we think about if you haven't cooked in a while and maybe now you're cooking for a large group of people, you're out grilling, et cetera. Watch your kids as they're running around having a blast near those grills. Just be safe, use your common sense. And as was mentioned before, please, 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 if you are enjoying any of that Kentucky bourbon, do not get behind the wheel of a car. We also don't want to visit you in that regard either. I will pass it off now to my companion, Jody Meiman with Emergency Services.
Good morning. We continue, obviously, to work with our local, state, and federal partners. Josh mentioned it earlier. We do have a federal coordination team, which is really good to work with. And obviously, the staff at Churchill Downs, Mike Anderson, Mike Ziegler, Amy Patterson, Josh. I mean, I can't say enough about the trust that we put in each other and the confidence that they put in the city in putting this plan together. Being prepared is the best advice. Prepare now for our local citizens. We always encourage you to sign up for Lens Alert, our Louisville emergency notification system. That gives you any information or any emergency alert for whatever you sign up with. We also have created an opt-in for Derby, so you can text Derby to 67283 for our visitors to come in and receive emergency alerts. We've actually had hundreds of people sign up over the past couple of weeks, and we're very proud to say that now we're at over 50,000 plus people that have signed up, which is double where we were at this time last year. So we're really pleased and encouraged that people are taking the time to sign up for our Lens Alert. No reason why every resident shouldn't be signed up for this. You've heard it time and time again. If you see something, say something. There's hundreds of public safety servants that are going to be throughout the track. So if you see something that seems out of place, hopefully it's not going to be anything, but get the teams there to investigate anything that might be going on. Know your access route home and park accordingly. And again, we can't say it enough, bring your patients. They're going to get you home. LMPD's almost mastered this and perfected this traffic plan, so they will get you home. It may not be the route that you normally take, but you will get home at night. Louisville Metro EMS will be on site as our transport units. They'll be supporting Alpha Event Medical, which is the contractor within Churchill Downs that's handling all the medical inside. But they will have support for that, and then they'll also be on bikes and UTVs throughout outside of the venue in case something should happen to you outside. Now I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
Well, as you can tell, we've got some amazing professionals who have been working hard with all of their teams to put these plans in place so that everyone can safely enjoy their Derby Week experiences here in Louisville, and particularly as it relates to in and around Churchill Downs. So I know that's a lot of information. We hope you all will help us get all this information out to everyone across the community, not just today, but in the coming days ahead, knowing how many visitors are joining us for this amazing week and weekend. And with that, we are all happy to take any questions from the media that you all might have. If all the speakers want to come up and join us, we're happy to take some questions.
Sorry about that. I want to pull my sheet out here. That way I give you the most accurate information, okay? 264 will be closed, starting 264 West exit ramp onto 3rd and Southern Parkway. All right, on Thursday, that'll occur, actually on all 3 days, it'll occur at 5:30 PM. All right. 264 East exit ramp at Southern Parkway will also be closed. 264 West exit ramp at Taylor, 264 East exit ramp at Taylor. Again, these will all be closing at 5:30 and will remain closed until cessation of the detail events there at Churchill Downs on all 3 days. The other big one is the 65 South exit ramp to Crittenden Drive. That one's going to close at 9 in the morning on Thursday and 8 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. You're welcome.
A couple questions for Josh. Yes, for people who don't have front side tickets, infield ticket holders,
Yeah.
can they pay to park and use the shuttle at the exposition center?
No, but it's really logistics and the convenient route. So they would drop them at the black lot, and the distance from the black lot to the infield gate is actually further than from L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium.
What if, I'm trying to, the scenario is if I have an infield ticket, I can walk from the stadium lot, but what if I can't do that walk? What are my options? Say I'm elderly.
Yeah, our mobility parking or drop-off is over at L&N Stadium on the bronze lot side. It is ADA accessible. That would be the closest destination for them to, where they could park versus the infield gate. It is quite a walk to get around from the black lot. It's actually further, the distance and everything it would be more difficult from that shuttle location.
Is that the only drop-off location nearest the track?
The front side, the shuttle, yes.
Question for Lieutenant Browning. In the past, have you guys had issues with like ride shares coming into the block-off areas?
Issues would probably be a little bit of a stronger word than it has happened in the past. You can imagine with this many pedestrians and vehicles coming in, there are going to be people that somehow make it to a place they're not belong to. Should that occur, we kindly turn them around, give a little bit of education to the driver and state, you're not supposed to be here, here's where you're supposed to go. And that's where pushing out of this information is going to be utmost importance. Like I said, it's all available online. LMPD's website, I'm sure Churchill Downs' website has quite a bit of the information as well. And over the course of the 3 days, the drivers will learn. Again, Thursday, there may be some mistakes made, but by the time Saturday comes through there, they will have driven that route enough to where they'll be able to get in and out very quickly.
Chief Healey, is there cruising still happening on West Broadway these days?
Depending on your definition of cruising, as I spoke earlier.
As we saw years ago.
Yes, if that does occur, as I said earlier, we have traffic mitigation plans in place. If the traffic becomes so congested that we can't get emergency vehicles through there, or that we're impacting the actual individuals that are actually just trying to get home, we will mitigate traffic off of Broadway to clear that up.
No plans to shut the road down right now or anything like that?
There are no plans to shut the road down. However, like I said earlier, when I talked about no parking zones, there are some specific no parking zones where people in the past have chose to park and it clogs up traffic. So we will be strictly enforcing those. We will be monitoring for traffic backups, and we will have the plan to mitigate that off of there. In 2022, we actually had a shooting on Broadway. And we had a group of individuals that thought it was a good idea to block off 18th and Broadway and do drifting and block that entire intersection off, which caused a delay in getting emergency vehicles to that shooting scene. So, as I said, we want everyone to enjoy Derby. We want everyone to enjoy themselves, but it has to be done in a safe manner. And in a safe manner means being able to have egress for emergency vehicles to get where they're needed to.
And for you or Major Bates, have you identified any major threats to this event?
Not that I know of, and no.
Not at this time.
No.
Any other questions?
How many officers will be staffed at Churchill Downs during the event or walking around? What's that presence
Well, just to clarify a few things, this is a all-work day, all-work weekend for LMPD. So every member of LMPD will be working. They will be working in or around Churchill Downs, as well as the rest of our entire city that needs to also have protection and response available from our first responders. Additionally, as you heard earlier, there are folks from federal and state agencies that are also involved with security and preventing any issues at Churchill Downs as a result of being a federally designated Tier 2 event. So there's a lot of coordination from many law enforcement organizations between federal, state, and local authorities, as well as private contractors that Churchill Downs has engaged. It's a very large amount of folks.
Can the major tell us what this federal designation is and give us an idea, just a list of what types of agencies will be on site, federal, state, local?
The easy way to describe a Tier 2, Super Bowl is Tier 1. I think that's the only Tier 1 event in the country every year.
Special event assessment rating.
It's a federal rating designed for large events that need coordinated law enforcement preparation and coordination to ensure public safety. So Tier 2 is very close to the highest level, which means that we get more coordination and support from federal authorities. All of the folks that you can think of, FBI, Secret Service, the list goes on, state, Homeland Security, all of those agencies working in coordination on a federal, state, and local level. Is that it? Okay.
I have a question about the lens alerts with this Derby number here. Do people who are already have the lens alerts, do they need to text Derby as well, or will they automatically get it?
Yeah, they already get it. We just want to encourage, as Director Meiman said, there are currently about 50,000 people who have signed up for Lens Alert. We would love for every person in Louisville to sign up for Lens Alert, to keep alert during Derby week and every week throughout the year. When we recently had the tornadoes or other severe weather and emergencies, we want to be able to get that information out. Now is a great week to remind everyone, please sign up for Lens Alert to stay in touch with any necessary emergency communications.
This has nothing to do with like any traffic alerts or anything like that. This is
No, it's not traffic.
Lens alert, you can specifically pick a traffic alert and do that in there.
Yeah, you have a whole bunch of choices to customize what types of alerts you receive. Well, to close out today, every Tuesday, we always recognize Louisvillians that are doing great work, and I think it's obvious this week and in the past weeks that the Louisvillians doing great work who are worthy of recognition and thanks from everyone enjoying our city this week are all of our first responders. We saw them all over the city for Thunder Over Louisville. We saw them lining the entire parade route, lining the entire mini marathon and marathon route. We see first responders working to make sure that everyone in Louisville and everyone who's joining us in Louisville from around the world can have a safe and fun Kentucky Derby Festival events and Kentucky Derby 150. So on behalf of every Louisvillian, I just want to say a special thanks to the leadership of all of our first responder agencies and everyone, every man and woman that helps as part of a first responding team here in Louisville so that everyone else can enjoy Derby 150. Thank you all so much. Have a fun and safe, historic Derby 150 week.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask you about just one quick thing about your Derby guest list?
Sure.
You put it out yesterday. Some of the folks on there, LPGA, PGA, why those people on your guest list?
Sure. Kentucky Derby is always a unique opportunity to get folks to visit our city. They might not ever visit our city. And to see that we have a wonderful ability with our southern hospitality, with our hotels, our restaurants, our public approach to public safety, where we can host amazing events and festivals right here in Louisville. And so this is a unique opportunity to create new relationships with individuals that are involved in certain events and programs that we can show Louisville off, and we'll see where it takes us. But the goal is to get folks to Louisville that might not otherwise visit us here. Thank you all very much. Okay.